Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's development update and community Q&A session. I am Adam with Demiplane. I'm the CDO here at Demiplane. That title, Chief Development Officer, is it's a title that is typically reserved for the construction industry. I think they use that a lot in the construction industry, but we are constructing things with the software out here, and so that is what I do here at Demiplane. We have a fantastic team that is working on so many things, and it is a joy to work with them every single day. And we are just in the thick of things right now, and I love this feeling of creating, of making something that didn't exist before exist. It really is just such a powerful thing, and it's one of the main reasons that I do what I do here and love seeing it all come together. I'm going to talk a little bit about that today in this dev update. So as usual, we're going to talk about the latest updates, talk about what's on deck to be worked on, and then you can ask me questions. And so I'm already seeing a question come through asking if Demibot is still on the fritz or not. And I can very proudly say that Demibot has undergone maintenance, and we have helped Demibot overcome the duplication issues and errors that were plaguing its internal operating system, and we are good to go. So you can ask questions starting right now, or actually you could have probably 5 minutes ago because I saw the Demibot question, but you can preface that with the word question, ask your question, and I will get to as many as we have or as many as I can as the time allows at the end of the show. So jumping right in, first of all, this is some big news. So tonight at midnight Pacific, so if you're in Central Time Zone like I am, that is 2 a.m. So we have a lot of our team is in the Central Time Zone, and so our team is going to be staying up late to make sure that you can have these two incredible new Pathfinder products the moment that they are available and we're allowed to put them out. So that's going to be at midnight Pacific tonight. We have Dark Archive, which introduces two new classes. So these are big deals. There is the Psychic and the Thaumaturge, and these I'm sure if you've watched any of these, there is a probably 50% chance that I have mentioned psionics if you just ever watched one of these shows. And so I love psionics. I love telekinesis and telepathy, and really love what Pathfinder 2nd Edition is doing with psionics. So check this out tonight, midnight Pacific time. And then we also have the next Adventure Path Zombie Feast is the first installment in Bloodlords that is going to be released, and really looking forward to that one too. I love the way that Pathfinder releases products that are kind of rule centric, and then follows that up with all this adventure content that you can chew through that really takes advantage of some of those new rules that they've put in place. It's just such a great approach. It has worked all the way back. I remember the very first adventure path that hit Dungeon Magazine, and all of that is something that I love to see, and something that you will probably love to play. So if you haven't tried this stuff out, definitely check it out. That is coming out tonight, midnight Pacific. So other updates, we are very deep into character engine work, and to the point of we are meeting multiple times a day with various parts of the team to finalize flows, to talk through finalizing the data requirements that we have for this. As you know, Pathfinder 2nd Edition is a very it is a very robust, is the word that I will use, robust system. And that's one of the reasons that Pathfinder fans like it so much. There's so many options, so many things that your character can do. And so as we were working through this, there's a lot to it. And so one of the highlights of this last week has been, we have been doing a real deep dive on how to manage spells in both, selecting known spells in the character builder, but also being able to prepare spells and just generally manage your spells when you have the digital character sheet with you there at the table. And so there are so many ins and outs of that. And so, trying to keep everyone sane, going with that. But the team is doing a really great job with it. And we are really, really getting down to the nitty gritty now. And I tell you, the differences between prepared spellcasters, spontaneous spellcasters, all the different variations in between there, a lot of ground to cover. And what is really encouraging to us is as we are really getting into all that minutia of how that needs to come together, how that needs to be presented in hopefully the easiest, best, clearest way that we can. We are really, really grateful that we've gone down this path that we have with our game engine and how some of that I teased a couple of weeks ago with how all those different nodes work together, applying logic, applying string manipulation, all those things are flexible enough to handle all these ins and outs. And so we're really, really encouraged by that. And it's kind of, empowering us to push through into the final stages of what we need to do for, the character builder and the character sheet and get them ready to enter early access and start to get your feedback. We also know I've done some of this stuff before, and I know that, as we get our targets in place and we execute and we make this happen and we get that into the fans' hands out there, I understand that the fans are going to provide valuable feedback that is going to help us tweak it, help us get it to where it needs to be, because we are dedicated to making this the most useful tool that you could possibly have for managing your Pathfinder characters. And so we're putting in all this work now, but we also are very aware that when this gets in your hands, that we're going to get feedback, and we are going to be responsive to that feedback and polish this into a beautiful jewel that you're going to be able to use in your games. And then really exciting to us is after we get that out there and we start that process for Pathfinder, we are, because of this engine, going to be able to move to some of these other great games that we are supporting, relatively very quickly. And so really, really looking forward to being able to get our hands on Vampire and some of the other games that we haven't even shared with you yet. So it's going to be a lot of fun. All right. And speaking of things we haven't shared, I still have to redact this, but I am putting it here not to be a ridiculous tease to you out here today, but mainly saying that, again, the different parts of our team are working on different things. And so part of the team is working really hard on another Nexus that we are going to share more news about soon. Can't wait for that one. And then we have started, the first game for Free League is in what we call a configuration phase. So last week I shared that some of the discovery work had kicked off for that because I said we've got a discovery team and a delivery team are kind of the broad two teams that we have inside the company that are working on the product development. And so the discovery part of that is investigating everything that's needed. And I can say that that part of the process was over with in about a week. Shout out to Melly Dissette, our new community and content director. She did a lion's share of that work and putting that in place. And we are in the configuration phase where we're starting to actually set up the Nexus and getting it ready for early access. So we will have more news on what's going on with Free League soon. But those are the main things that the team is currently working on. And lots of good stuff there. So let's talk upcoming. So upcoming, as I said, nothing has changed. We are pushing through to get the pilot for the character builder and the digital character sheet ready for Pathfinder and ready for early access for you to be able to start using it out there and for us to start collecting that feedback, pushing forward on Vampire. pushing forward on that redacted nexus as well, that we can't share about yet there from a character, kind of just getting everything ready conceptually where we can line up the dominoes and knock them down after the engine itself is in a completed state. And then on the content side, we are going to continue to catch up the adventure paths. I think the team is currently almost done with the next one that is not Bloodlords. So Bloodlords working on that one for sure, but almost done with that next one. So hopefully within the next couple of weeks, you'll see another adventure path, pushing out there. And then we're catching up vampire content. We have Chicago by Night and Cults of the Blood Gods. They will be available the first half of August, the first part of August. And so keep your eye out for that. And then we will continue to work on additional vampire content throughout the rest of this year to get everything caught up. And then this one's a new one for the list. We talked about this with the team yesterday, but on Pathfinder Nexus, we are starting the discovery work on creature adjustments. So this is going to be your weaks and elites. But then Dark Archive, spoiler alert, Dark Archive introduces a new type of adjustment called cryptids. And these cryptid adjustments definitely made it very clear that the weak and elite adjustments are a system and something that Pathfinder and Paizo is thinking of as a system. And so we are looking into exactly how we're going to bring that to life. But that's something that, again, this is very importantly on the upcoming. This is stuff that is on deck. So we haven't started, writing any code for this, but this is something that is entering the radars, kind of outer range there of something that we're about to start focusing on with creature adjustments, and looking forward to getting all that in place. And then we, through early access so far, thank you so much for your feedback. We've received a ton of very helpful feedback, in addition to some of the consultants that we work with on accessibility updates. And so we have identified some root causes of some of the issues, and we are kind of targeting what those accessibility updates are, how they're going to work. And we're going to start with things like action icons in Pathfinder Nexus, where for one action, 3 actions, reaction, free action, so on. All of those getting the proper attributes is the word I'm looking for. Proper attributes where screen readers are going to be able to parse those and read those effectively. So that's one example of some of the accessibility updates that we are starting to target in that upcoming range as well. And so thank you for your patience there. And again, thank you for your feedback, because that is truly invaluable for us. One of the things that, is so gratifying is being able to take games, so many great games out there, and put them into a format that is just generally more accessible because of the digital nature of it, but then also to work to fine tune all of that and make it as accessible as it possibly can be, where more and more people can enjoy playing these games and reading the content for these games. It really is a great mission for us out there, and something that we are working on. And you'll start to see some of those tweaks coming in the next couple of months here. All right. I think that is it. Let me look over and see what Demibot is doing and see if we have any questions here. So Demibot, let's check in. We've got a few here, and they are not duplicated. So well done, Demibot. I'm going to pat Demibot on its metal cranium here. Thank you so much, Demibot, for all that you do. All right, I'm going to skip over the question that is Demibot fixed, because I just answered that. But then Anchor 89, will the Kingmaker Adventure Path and the Kingmaker Companion make street date in October? If that is our street date, then the answer is yes. I know that there's been some, and this is not in any way saying anything about what's going on at Paizo. This is more saying that I am not 100% clear on remembering exactly when that street date is at this point, but I know that it's been moved around several times because of shipping delays and all the things that are going on in our world right now. But if it is going to come in October, our intention and target would be to have that available in October as well. All right, Anchor 89 again. Will there be a subscription fee for character management? I am okay with that. We're going to share more about subscriptions very soon. So probably you definitely will have more details about that within the next month, I would say. We'll start talking about that. But there will be a subscription that is going to enhance the way that you can use Demiplane and the Nexus platform. And so very importantly, it's not going to be specific to any of the individual games that we support. So I think that that's a very important thing. And that's part of what is going to make this subscription very compelling, is that you will be able to use that subscription with all of the games that Demiplane is going to be supporting with official digital tools. And again, kind of tip of the iceberg of what those games are right now. I can tell you we've got a lot more to share with you in the coming months. So it's going to be a really compelling offering, I think, and we will share more about that soon. And I will say that we have kind of shifted some of the priorities around for that, because we have certainly seen that throughout early access, the feedback that we are receiving. So this is an example of us receiving this kind of feedback and actually making some shifts in the ordering and the prioritization of some of this stuff. We are prioritizing making sure that we can get something like content sharing out there sooner rather than a little bit later where we were planning to have it. And so we will share much more about that in the next few weeks here for sure. Death 25 or Death A, sorry if I'm getting that wrong. So new APs, Adventure Paths, will be released book by book, not all of them at once. No, that's so I want to make sure that I'm answering this correctly. So obviously we will not be releasing the books in the adventure path that are currently not available yet. So we won't be releasing those. But tonight you will see that as that becomes available, midnight Pacific, there will be the entire adventure path that you can buy at one time. And then I think this one has 6 books in it. And so as that is released there, then the other 5 books will be in a pre-order status. And then basically as soon as they are released on their street dates, those will just automatically be available for you, and you won't have to make any additional purchase. So you can buy the entire adventure path at that point in time, or you can just buy the first installment with Zombie Feast. And as with any of the bundles that we have on Demiplane, previously purchased content credit works. So for instance, if you don't want to buy the entire path, tonight when Zombie Feast is available, you can pick up Zombie Feast, and then all of the money that you spent on Zombie Feast will get you credit toward the full adventure path. And then if you decide to buy the entire path at a later time, you will have the cost that you spent on Zombie Feast deducted from that overall cost. So lots of words there, and I had to think about everything I was saying, but that is the way that works. And so, but yes, you will be able to pick up the entire adventure path at that point. All right, I got a couple more questions. If you have any others, get those in. Otherwise, I'm going to gain some time back today, and that's probably going to be used to go get food or something, because Tuesdays are wacky for me, like lots and lots of meetings. And so as soon as I get out of these dev updates, I like hightail it to a food truck or something and get food for me and the family, and try to scarf it down before the next meeting that I have. But yeah, all right, we got a couple more here. So Anchor 89, how about it? Are we getting Starfinder 2023? Or are we still feeling the waters? Yeah, we're not ready to answer this question yet. But But what I can say is we are very interested in giving fans what they want. And if enough fans want Starfinder, I think that the forecast is pretty favorable for that. So we'll see how that goes. Death 25, will the builder eventually get all used to make NPCs and or custom monsters using the templates? Great question. And it won't naturally be the character builder that will be doing that, but the game engine that we are putting together certainly makes a lot of sense for us to extend that to other tools. And so I can tell you what we're very ready to share is that after we get character management to a really, really good place with Pathfinder, Vampire, any of the other games that we're supporting, once we get character management, at the platform level where we want it to be, then we are going to start focusing on, and I'll just, generally call it challenge management. So whatever the game calls it, encounters, creatures, monsters, whatever the different games call it, we will start looking into that. And the next phase will probably be managing the encounters themselves. So it'll go from, making sure character management is where it needs to be, then the encounters themselves, and then the creatures that compose those encounters having more customization. So that's the likely path. Again, that's how we're thinking about it right now. But that is something that we're very interested in doing. We have a lot of great ideas, I think, that are going to make that work really, really well. All right, let's see. Risa Malima, current favorite dinosaur. Thanks for checking in on this. I really do appreciate it. I really think that I am, at the moment with the dinosaurs, and this is due, you can't see it on my shelf back here, but this is due to some Dino Riders action, actually. So I used to really love this very short-lived show called Dino Riders, where, as you can imagine, people rode dinosaurs. That was what the show was about. But riding those dinosaurs, I'm really on a Triceratops kick right now. So we're going to say Triceratops for today. But ask me again in a couple of weeks, and we'll see what I'm feeling. So basically, current favorite dinosaur for me is a little bit, like a mood ring or something. And it just, so take that, what you will, but right now I'm into a Triceratops. So, you mess with the Triceratops, you get the horns. All right. Anchor 89. When will we get to meet the members of the team? So, we have a couple of us going to Gen Con. So as you can imagine, the team's really, really working hard on everything that we have going on. And so myself and our CMO, Bart Vickers, are going to be at Gen Con here. Is that next week? I think it's next week, maybe the week after. And so we are going to be there. We're going to be doing a lot of meetings and all of that. But if you see me, please feel free to say hello. Love meeting folks out there. So that will be at Gen Con. And I would say that given where we are with everything that we're working on, 2023 should be a pretty big year when it comes to conventions for us. And so we've got a lot of fun stuff planned for 2023. I imagine if you attend any of those conventions, you're going to absolutely get to be able to meet members of the team in person. And then if your question was talking about digitally, virtually meeting some of the team members, I actually was going to try to get this together for this week, and it didn't quite happen. But I do plan to bring on our co-founder and CTO, Travis Frederick, to talk a little bit more about our technology at some point here in the future. I am going to talk to individual members of the team. I would say that the plan for that is once every 4 to 6 weeks or something. We might pull in somebody from the team to talk a little bit more about what they do and let you meet some of those team members. So yeah, it is something that is in the works and something that we will share more about soon. All right, last question. That is not a question from Anchor 89, or actually it is a question. Phrase it as a question. I just didn't say the question mark. How does the Demiplane team maintain the level of awesomeness, and that's all caps, folks, they showed last year. So again, one of the things that I will wax poetic about very briefly, and then I'm hitting a food truck, is that we really do care about here at Demiplane trying to hire team members who are missionaries and not mercenaries. And so what that means is we want people who believe in what we're trying to do and not people who are just, sitting back and drawing a paycheck. And so that missionary approach, I think, makes a huge difference. I know that we would not have been able to cover the ground that we already have. And by the way, I know that many of you are out there because I have lived through all this, in the past. I know that many of you are like, yeah, you're not moving fast enough. You're not moving fast enough. And you know what? You would be saying that. Some of you would be saying that, even if we could snap our fingers and get everything done. But I do think that when we take a step back, we've really covered a ton of ground, and I know that that would not be possible without a team of missionaries who really believe in what we're doing, who put in extra effort, who just love and are passionate about what we're doing here. And again, that makes it a joy to work with them. It makes it really produce a lot of results when it comes to making a great product and covering a lot of ground on that roadmap. And so again, tons of work going on. We do have an awesome team. And I think that, as we get closer to having this pilot done for character management, it's going to be the end of a very long tunnel that we've been in with trying to get all of that ready, trying to get that platform in place. And I can't wait to emerge out from that tunnel, like an Elder Scrolls game. You get out of there and then you see that sun in the background, and as long as you're not on console where your view distance is completely jacked up and you're on PC and you see so far, that's what it's going to be like for our team, and I can't wait for that to happen. But it is an awesome team, and thank you very much. Thank all of you for joining me today. And let me see, we might be canceling next week because of Gen Con, if I've got my dates right, but some preparation for the short week before I have to travel for Gen Con. But we keep an eye on our social media, and we provide all of those details for you. We are also going to be back tonight with a new episode of Children of Erte, and we are in a pickle right now, and I am feeling it. So I can't wait to see what happens, and I hope our characters survive it all. We will talk to you next week, possibly. Either way, check us out for Children of Erte. Later, Gators.